Hello and welcome to Dice Friends. This and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. And this episode of Bylaw and Order is also brought to you by Dragon Shield. You can check out their selection of board game sleeves, companion folios, and other great tabletop gaming accessories at dragonshield.com. And if you're looking to run your own Ravnica adventures, this is a great time to mention our affiliate link with DriveThruRPG. You can go to lrr.cc/DriveThruRPG, and anything you buy, such as your own Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, helps us out. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Although it is a relatively new publication, The Omen Hiker's Guide to the Multiverse has quickly become the best-selling multiplanar traveler's guide on the market. This is due to two key factors. First, unlike many of the guide's competing publications, it doesn't need to be charged. Second, it is pleasant to hold. Although its printed size is not particularly large, it is reassuringly weighty in a way that suggests that whatever information inside was either exhaustively researched or at least padded out with a lot of flowery text. Ravnica's own entry into the guide has swelled to an enormous 63 pages in the most recent edition, bolstered largely by the inclusion of its own sub-appendix dedicated to the vagaries of Ravnican culture and society, which, after 10,000 years of what can only be charitably described as uninterrupted focus on local politics, has become utterly incomprehensible to outsiders. In fact, so many first-time visitors find Ravnica so baffling that the sub-appendix is widely considered to be the second most vital piece of planar information, ranked only slightly behind the transit directions to the 8th District's legendary Pleasure Gardens and Fondorlium. For example, in most of the multiverse, the concept of death, or to put it more broadly and in more Ravnican terms, never again visiting the 8th District's legendary Pleasure Gardens and Fondorlium, is generally considered to be a commitment that's pretty difficult to get out of. On Ravnica, however, death is more of a lifestyle choice than an absolute, because death is very common on Ravnica, and an accidental death or two is generally considered to be a sign that a party is going well. These deaths, sure, I technically died after being skewered by a Rakdos Hackrobat, but then a Simic doctor fixed me right up and I'm only 10% salamander now, are common and generally covered by selecting the erotic misadventure checkbox on a hospital admittance form. Within the canon of Ravnican law, they are fully legal as the business of 2 or more consenting adults as long as a waiver was signed and all the necessary permits were in place. And even when they do manage to permanently die, Ravnicans have the option to purchase a wide variety of afterlife insurance from the Orzhov Syndicate. Although the exact wordings of these documents are always Byzantine and complicated, the premise is simple. If a policyholder is found to have ceased living due to any number of previously agreed upon causes, they are resurrected as a ghost, declared technically living, and can return to their former life in a new and supposedly convenient semi-corporeal form. The insurance premiums and resurrection fees for this kind of death are substantial, although costs can easily be amortized over several hundred years. And even when a deceased Ravnican decides not to embark on a centuries-long after-death career pivot into the world of indentured finance, sometimes they just come back as ghosts anyway, bound either to return, either because of their sense of duty, some unfinished business, or in the case of Yzmak Scronulox, noted Izzet theoretical mana weaver, being killed so suddenly and so spectacularly they didn't notice they'd been blown up for another 60 years. There are, of course, plenty of non-consensual deaths on Ravnica, but they are statistically rare. Not only because the odds of being murdered must be balanced against Ravnica's vast population, but also because it's considered to be bad form to kill someone without asking them first, simply because it makes an enormous legal headache for all parties involved. When we last left our party, they had all been given an exciting task to determine exactly how much of a headache a murder is in the 6th District. Hi, these are our players. I'm all very excited to have you. Before we get into the game, Enor has a very important appointment that he had to keep with his parole officer. So Enor, would you like to hear the terms of your parole?
Lay it on me.
All right, I'm your parole officer here, and as you can see now, you have an ankle monitor that will alert us to your location. You are, of course, forbidden from leaving the 6th District, and you must abide by the following conditions. You must keep the peace and be of good behavior. You must appear before the Senate whenever required to do so by the Senate, and you must notify the Senate or myself in advance of any change of name, address, and promptly notify the Senate if you have any change of employment or occupation. You must not possess or consume alcohol or controlled substances. You must not possess directly or indirectly any kind of weapon as defined by the criminal statute, including crossbows, flux blasters, knives, polearms, or unregulated staves, prohibited devices such as mana concentration circuits or steam coil recirculators. You must not possess or interact with any equipment used in the production or making of any illicit drugs, including but not limited to psychotropic condensing columns, rich growing mediums, and fungal starters. And finally, you must complete 6 hours of community work per week for a total of 96 hours under my direction. Your community service work must be completed by no later than the last day of Tev Number 10,079. Any questions?
None that I'm going to get answers for.
Excellent. Do you have any idea where you're going to be doing your community service?
Absolutely not.
All right, well, you'll be expected to report back to me. Remember, no weapons, no drugs, no funny business whatsoever.
Cool.
All right. Go join your friends.
Where are we when this is going on?
I don't know. Maybe he's meeting them out. Maybe he's meeting Enor outside.
Oh, okay. So
Flipping
like
the
we're
ankle
just kind of like
bracelet.
across the way.
Yeah.
Is there like any like street meat vendor in the area?
Oh, sure.
I like to think you're just sitting on the stoop of the local precinct, just waiting for me to get out.
Okay.
After I had to go to talk to the principal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's kind of like walking in and out. There's like a bunch of different, law people going in. There's a coiled up talking piece of paper talking about how it's going to get ratified.
Yeah. Do you want to go to a cafe? Well,
Yeah, I feel like we just made a big breakthrough in our case, right?
Yeah.
Like we found we I'll level with you. I remember that we found apples.
Yeah, we found
Well,
Or something that
That's-
smelled
greasy apple goo.
Yeah, we found greasy apple goo. And I know apple who that belongs to.
Nice. Wait, who?
The bug girl.
Ah!
oh.
Right. I keep thinking that you all just have like an omnipotent like look into the things I do. The one of the swamp ball players, when I was having a conversation with them, a couple of you were off, talking to the other people at the party. She smelled just like the goo.
It's always appealing when a woman smells like the goo.
But maybe before we do anything, I think we've earned a little bit of a break. You're covered in sludge or sluice, sewer juice.
Yeah. And I tried talking to a rat.
Oh yeah.
I had 2 drinks and handled a corpse.
So coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. Well, luckily for you, you are outside a popular chain, the Griffin's Clutches. It's you can get coffee of your design and basic rolls. It's a second cup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not quite a Starbucks.
All right.
Do I have to do anything special to get a black coffee here?
No, you just have to give them 20 zibs.
I do that.
All right, black coffee. What do you all want?
Do you guys have like a mate?
No.
What's a mate?
The Pope drinks it.
Who's the Pope?
Don't worry about it.
It's not quite a latte,
Yeah.
and it's not quite medicine. but it's somewhere in between.
Okay. Yeah.
They have some teas.
I'll take some teas.
They give you some tea. They don't have Golgari drinks, so you're above ground. This is more of a bougie Azorius cafe. It's in the second district though, so it's like, opened up where like this plaza is. So there's not that many people in here, and the barista is pretty bored.
What is the froofiest drink? How much whipped cream can you put inside this cup?
Oh, I mean, you know what? I can fill it up to the top if you don't tell my boss.
Great. I'll have 1 whipped cream, please.
She hands it over. Does your dog want a pup cup?
I mean, that's kind of what this is. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want a pup cup for
You know
yourself?
what? We'll just make it 2 pup cups. Great. And so me and Valencia go sit down. And
I thought that was for him.
Yeah. And then I just like take a drink and I just completely have a whipped cream mustache that I don't. Nog does not even acknowledge.
It's cute. He thinks he's people.
Yeah, I'll get a black tea and then whatever the blandest food they have is.
All right, they have a sweet roll with currants and frosting.
Ooh. Yeah, all right, I can splurge.
All right, so that costs you a whole 50 zibs.
All right.
Hey, Avenir, can you pay for my pup cup?
Sure, why not? I got a raise a couple of years ago.
Thanks.
Suddenly, you're now paying one Xeno and 50 zibs. It was like 50 zibs per pup cup.
Pup cups are supposed to be free.
When you fill them to the top.
That's fair.
Not when you get a Trente.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go in and ask for a pup cup and just walk into the bakery next door. And...
Dip.
Come in with like a big gulp cup.
They grab like the little thing. It's like, no, I brought my own. It's just a big gulp, like plastic container.
1 lake of heavy cream, please.
What was the name of your drone that collected information?
Oh, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Right?
Right, yeah, it wasn't Kevin.
It wasn't. I know. I should have named it that. Jeffrey.
All right. Well, Jeffrey is beeps helpfully from your, I don't know, wherever you keep him.
Oh, okay.
Satchel, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I can activate Jeffrey the same way that I activate the calls, which is just reboot.
All right.
Hello.
Hey, Nog, it's me. We got the results of all your testing back. We got the detailed necropsy results. So whenever you guys are done role-playing, you can just come and see us for the next scene. Thanks.
We're adding texture and flavor, not unlike this delicious pup cup that I received from this cafe. Well, as I turn around, just like wearing most of this whipped cream. Sounds like the results of the necropsy are in. If we want to go check it out.
All right. Well, yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, do we know if this guy had a Orzhov contract? He must have.
Like if his ghost
Yeah.
is up in there. I don't know.
I can't imagine that you won't find out in just a few minutes.
I'm gonna put a note in my handy dandy detective notebook.
All right, so you take any time to get cleaned up, or do you just show up covered in whipped cream and sludge?
Slock goes and takes a mini shower in the sink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So
Sink shower.
Slock looks professional, put together. Excellent.
Yeah.
Nog?
Well, I didn't get any sluice juice on me because I was being princess carried by Slock.
Right.
But Valencia definitely licks the cream off my face.
Oh, okay. So you're clean.
I'm clean by a dog owner's standards.
All right, great. Everybody looks professional and good.
Yeah.
All right, so you go and walk over to the second precinct morgue, and normally this is run by a single clerk, probably on contract to the Boros before he hands people over to the Azorius. And his job typically involves cross-checking the deceased cause of death against their insurance policy. However, he is nowhere to be found because the agency has taken over, and they have decided that they're just going to use this to conduct this urgent autopsy. So he's taken both an early and a late lunch because he wants to leave your business uninterrupted, as it is not his. And you find yourself in a room with with the corpse of Hyrobian Spazabom and 2 agency members who I've noted have been brought in at no small expense via chartered lockopede to conduct this autopsy and interview for you.
Oh.
So basically, Nog, do you know these people? Have you had to work with them before?
These are agency members?
Yeah, these are agency members, we'll say, from another district.
Yeah, I mean, so I recognize them. I don't think I've ever worked with them because I was kind of, like I said, I was the kind of like the 10th district representative, I guess, of the agency and stuff. But I've definitely like handed stuff off to them.
Oh, okay. All right.
I would vaguely recall like what does their name rhyme with?
The guy's name rhymes with Mogos.
Ah, I say that. Mogos!
It's Vogos. Actually, he says to you.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. It's a common name.
It's good to see you.
Yes, good to see you. Although I don't think we've ever had the pleasure of working together. Have you met you've met Associate Chisha before? She's our forensic communications specialist.
I don't think I've had the pleasure. Nog, it's nice to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine. I like your dog.
Thank you. People do.
So, without further ado, says Vogos very seriously, here is our comprehensive results. You identified a sample of strange goo under the victim's nails. We believe this is a mixture of concentrated after-sausage silt and bread. Also to note, there are some unusual fungal spores mixed into this, and we haven't been able to identify them. We assume the victim had poor hygiene based on the condition of the corpse and this. The head wound was on the left side of the head and was largely superficial, but was definitely received while the victim was alive due to the amount of blood lost and the bruising at the site. The water in the lungs is likely the final cause of death, but if you were to ask my opinion, and I believe you are, he was poisoned, shoved down that pipe, hit his head, and then drowned. Speaking of the poison, the blue rings under his eyes and the spots on his face. We know something he ingested caused it, but the problem is that it's not pinging as any of the common 178 good poisons. So we've had to send up his entire stomach contents back to head office in the 10th district. As far as we can tell from our tests, it's organic, but it's also triggering with some sort of magical enhancement. We've also synthesized at least what should be a semi-accurate sample of the substance if you reference it at well. We've run a panel to try and identify it, and so far the closest thing we have is scarlet zoom cap, which is a mushroom that's fairly rare, but does grow here in the 6th district. However, it's only a 40% match on its molecules, or whatever they'd say.
I know that makes sense.
Yeah, we've gotten you this. We've gotten you a report on it though. So if you wanted to show it to somebody who could tell you anything about mycology, that might give you more information.
Thank you very much.
Does anybody here, before we move on, does anybody here have an interest in mycology?
I was about to say, so I guess as I'm being handed this, I'm like, Enor.
I've been known to dabble.
Yeah, what do you make of this? Any idea about this scarlet zoom cap?
Yeah, let me have a look.
You get the report.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to roll me? Do you have like nature or insight or something
yeah, I
like
do.
that? Yeah, whatever ability you think would be best for identifying some sort of weird mushroom.
This is probably best as a nature roll, which is fine. Whoop. That'll be 20.
20. You think that this might be similar to the profiles of psychedelics that you've seen before.
I've seen this before, but not quite like this. Most of the things I take don't kill you. Actually,
So it's some sort of drug.
yes.
What about you, Slock? I know you're a Golgari boy. You know anything about these mushrooms?
Only when they're decomposed. They smell really bad. And they're great for the plants. That's it.
That's how you make new mushrooms.
Avnir, I assume you've heard of mushrooms?
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering, like, they really meant this.
Yeah.
Poisoned him, hit him in the head, and then drowned him.
It was definitely with malice.
I just wonder why the poisoning. Because you would think doming him and then, like, stomping him down the sewer, that would probably do it.
Maybe he poisoned himself accidentally with the stuff he was doing.
Maybe?
And it was just coincidental that he got also beat up and killed.
I mean, it didn't... The poison didn't turn up as one of the, like, recognized good poisons. It has similarity to something else. Does it have a similarity to anything in the recipe for Aftersausage? Is this an Aftersausage OD? Some kind of bizarre industrial accident? Or did they find it useful to have him tripping balls when he died?
Don't ask me how I know, but I found it a lot easier to kill someone when they're not struggling.
I can tell you if that has Aftersausage when the results come back from the 10th
Okay.
district, because the Aftersausage recipe is apocryphal, so you wouldn't have something to compare it to. You also
Right.
have somebody you could ask coming up also very shortly. So much information here. All right. Then you got a few more things that you can do. Is there anything else you want to do with your mushroomy lead before we move on? They've got a printout on what it is.
No, I mean we've got the info and stuff. So
I'd like
Yeah.
to take the sample of the, if possible.
Isolated from the you know what? If you want to take, when you say take the sample, do you mean ingest it?
No.
I would like to take that drug.
No, just pocket that little vial of spores.
Okay. They don't. They have some of the. We'll say that they have some of the spores that were in the goo under his nails, but they don't have the stomach contents that they're trying to isolate whatever's in his stomach from.
That's good
because
enough.
That's already been sent off, but you can have those spores.
Slog, do you know anyone who would know a lot about mushrooms and mycology?
Maybe my boss, but, not every crawl grows up with mushrooms and rot,
I'm just thinking if any organization has the institutional expertise around mushrooms, it's probably the Swarm.
It was more of like an apples guy.
Okay.
A lot of orchard, a lot of decomposition.
oh.
Yeah.
Is the apple smell a pretty natural thing for the crawl?
If you work with apples, yeah. Not specifically for an individual.
Right. Helpful as always, Slug.
Thanks.
No, I think that's perfect.
One-
Thank you so much.
One more question.
Oh wait,
Oh,
what's
we've
up?
got more stuff for you.
You law dudes seem pretty thorough. Did you actually find out what those spores under the fingernails are?
No, we haven't identified them yet.
Just do it myself.
All right. You have more things.
Yeah.
You have that grease sample in that tin. Mm-hmm.
Oh right, yes.
Oh yeah.
In fact, yes, we have. We were handed this grease. Not handed. We found this sample.
Yeah. We identified that as it's swamp ball grease. It looks like it's apple scented. There's no label. We were able to pull 2 sets of fingerprints off. A full fingerprint belonging to the victim and a partial fingerprint belonging to someone who's not coming up on our system.
What's the fingerprint look like? It is a fingerprint.
I mean, it's a bit of a fingerprint. I'm going to say that all creatures on Ravnica have fingerprints or something that would be called a fingerprint, regardless of their fingery organization.
Right.
So they could fingerprint a sphinx or a crawl.
Right, but in this instance, is there a way like?
Is this from a hominid?
I'm going to say it's not. All you can tell is it's not from a simic, because simic have tentacles and their looks. But this had fingers. We'll say
It definitely
Okay.
has.
I'm not going to say that you can racially profile somebody.
No. That's not what we're getting at. But I feel like you'd probably be able to identify if it's like like rings on a finger or like a claw or a
Yeah.
hoof or
Only partial.
Or a toe beam.
okay. No.
Partial pull, we'll say.
Writes down probably crawl.
Yeah. And remember that you asked about all like the slime and the footprints and stuff like that, and you took lots of pictures, and it was hard to tell if it was a lot of footprints and stuff like that. Well, we did some special 3D scanning to break it down, and that's an interesting place because it's not like it's almost not like layers of grease and dust. It's almost like a swirl. There's so much grease and dust mixed in there together. It's like when you put a lot of paint, different colors, but you mush it all together so it all turns brown, so it's really hard to get something out of it. We've pulled what could be hundreds of fingerprints and footprints out of that place, and most of them belong to the victim or his children, but some of them we don't know. We're running the rest through the database, but we've only had one hit so far. Somebody named Alvin Ear, who's a member of the Golgari Swarm, and he's known to run in creative circles, but also known to work a lot of odd jobs, so it's considerable he might have just been passing through for some legitimate reason.
We got a bunch of leads here, team.
Finally, there's that weird black peppery substance you found on your exceptionally
door.
high roll. That is the biggest question mark. It's not organic, but it's also not a metal rock or any other kind of artificial polymorph. It's also extremely unstable. It's radioactive, as far as we can tell, but not in the traditionally dangerous way. It's odd.
Don't eat it.
That's a good
No,
point.
I wouldn't.
I mean,
You can eat anything. Anyway, has anyone notified the children?
Oh, yes, we have them in another room to talk to after this.
Oh, okay.
Did they know their father's dead?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Okay.
great. We don't have to break the news then.
Okay.
Whew, dodge that bullet.
All right. So now that we've conducted the autopsy, would you like to see if you can speak to the victim?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Great. I'll give you over to my colleague here. Yes. All right. Hi. All right. So, who here has tried to do a post-death interview before? Show of hands. Okay, perfect. So, here's what we found out. By digging through his health records, it looks like he had requested the paperwork for an Azorius life insurance policy, but unfortunately that was over 10 years ago, and it was before he's divorced. So not only is this contract wouldn't be valid now because it lists his wife as his legal partner, but also because it was never completed in the first place. However, that doesn't mean we can't get them, but trying to summon a ghost without a policy is like calling somebody on the phone. There's no guarantee that they'll be able to pick up, because one, they might not feel like coming, and two, something might have happened to their ghost that would cause them to be restrained and unable to answer.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know we could restrain ghosts.
The Orzhov Syndicate built an entire economy around.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, so are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, I would like everybody to be quiet while I do some necromancy.
Oh, it's a seance. Hold on. Do we need to hold hands?
I mean, if you'd like to. So you can all hold hands. You guys can just think about holding hands. All right, ghosty, come on out. Tell us what your death was all about. The lights flicker and go dim, and suddenly...
This ghost has a lot of wisdom to share.
Is that a normal sound for a ghost?
I mean, a lot of the time people do scream, but yeah, it's like a 4 on a 10. I don't know. It's a sliding scale.
Oh, all right. I'm in level with you. This might be a bad time to tell everybody. Very afraid of ghosts. Avenir, I'm gonna let you handle this one.
All right. Mr. Spuzzbomb. Hi. I guess it's my dubious responsibility to inform you that you are dead. We represent
You're doing great.
agency that has been charged with investigating your death. My name is Avenir. I introduce everyone. This is Nog,
Hi.
Uno, and Slock.
Sorry for your loss.
He looks at you and he just goes. And sinks back into the floor.
All right. Well, maybe we can try again later.
All in all, I think that went pretty well.
Yeah.
My favorite part was how short it was.
You can call him back.
Oh, well, maybe we'll give him some time to get settled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little unusual. Enor, could you make me an insight check, please?
That's a 20.
20. Enor, you've had moments when you felt like that.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is his ghost currently tripping
Well,
balls?
I was going to say, is his ghost, did it disapparate completely, or is it just sinking down to the floorboard still?
Make me a understanding stoned people perception check. Well, yeah, we'll say. I mean, I just want
Survival?
you to roll insight.
Sure.
Sure.
8.
8. I mean, not that you can see, but maybe we can. We'll say maybe he is just sort of like laying on the floor,
Okay.
rocking back and forth.
At this point, I'm just going to do it. We're going to cast detect thoughts on this ghost.
Okay, you're going to detect thoughts. All right, you are going to see a massive swirl of colors. You're going to see bubbles popping and darkness around you. You're going to feel water. You're going to feel stress and then relief and then freedom.
Dude's tripping balls from beyond the grave. This is a new technology.
I have a question regarding that. If you die while you're high, are you just high forever?
We're probably going to have to ask this guy once he comes down. If he comes down.
Okay, cool. You answered my question.
Can we get some kind of ghost coffee to try and sober him up?
Yeah, do we ghost paraquat?
Do we have like a fire extinguisher where we could like freeze, like get him cold? That usually makes me sober up.
I mean, you know what? You are welcome to try anything. The ghosts are incorporeal, and they don't I would say, feel hot and cold in the same way that you do.
That's fair.
But, you could try snapping him out of it. Maybe you could ask people who know him to speak to him. You could,
I just, you give him one of these.
What just happened?
pass through him.
No, have you ever had a friend do that to you where they just move their hand directly underneath your chin and it feels like their hand has gone into your mouth?
No?
Oh, it's a bad time.
Are you going to do that to him?
No.
Okay, darn.
No, it's just like you have this guy who's high forever. To a certain breed of person, that could be an entertaining evening.
Yeah, I feel like it confirms several other things that are of interest to you.
Yeah, this was definitely done, this feels more and more malicious now. This does not feel like an accident. This does not feel like...
I was curious about drugging him before doing the murder, but now that it's also affecting him post-mortem, makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, is this a common... I asked the investigator, is this something you ever see?
I can't say that we've ever seen... I mean, we've definitely seen people who, due to misadventure, the psychic state of their death is sort of imprinted on their ghosts for a time. So it's not unusual for ghosts to be disoriented when they are brought back. I would say this is unusual, and to be so strongly imprinted also lends some credence to whatever killed him had some sort of magical ability to it, and it wasn't just a mere poison, bludgeoning, drowning, which is,
Right.
More common than you'd think in the 6th and 7th districts, really, or the 7th and 8th districts, really.
Well, I imagine that there's no small percentage of people who die in weird accidents whose ghosts are a little bit hammered.
Oh, that's pretty common, but usually they're sobered up a few hours after the case. I would say this is unusual, yes.
Okay.
Can ghosts still, smell and taste?
I don't think so.
No? I was wondering if maybe we could produce the apple scent and see if it sparks any sort of memories in it.
I don't know. Canonically, if a Ravnican ghost can smell or taste, I know they're not corporeal.
You can ask him about the apples. And
Yeah,
if
that's
there's
true. Yeah, you can just ask him about it.
Hey!
You know, and you can ask him to smell it too.
Hey, ghost! Do you like apples?
Hoovaloo, Muonic pew.
How do you like these apples?
Oh, so shiny. He reaches to grab for the tin, but his hand, of course, passes through yours. And then he goes, ooh, shiny, and looks at some beakers over there, sort of like wafts. Avenir, he wafts through you, and it's unpleasant.
Yeah. I hate that. I think. Okay. Maybe we can try him again later. We should probably go and speak with the family.
Yeah, we can hang up on this guy.
All right. Well, that was very helpful for filling out some paperwork to say that I've been here. But if you do want to talk to him again, let me know. Is there anything to do in the 6th District if you're here for work?
If you find out, let me know.
Cool. Nice to meet you. All right, so that's Vogos and Chicha, and they can assist you if needed. They're sort of here to do cop trope business, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyhow, all right. So he has 2 children. He has Prion and Proclea. Which one would you like to talk to first?
If we're dealing with brain diseases, we should go with Prion.
Why?
You'll find out when you eat some.
Okay.
Priam.
Priam. Whoops.
Does anybody have experience talking to kids?
I mean,
I guess
they're young
they're
adults.
They're young adults. That's fair.
Yeah, that's him.
That's not a child.
No.
Yeah, you know,
Right, yeah.
there's no grief counseling involved here.
Okay.
We'll start with the large adult son, I guess.
Big baby, but not a child.
Yeah. All right.
Slock squats down. How you holding up, little fella?
He's just sitting in a chair,
He's got a newspaper.
uncomfortably close. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
I'm fine. Well, not good, honestly. I guess this is extremely stressful. I've been waiting here for quite some time to be interviewed. But yeah, how are you?
Mr. Spuzzbomb, we're very sorry for your loss. Has anyone offered you anything to drink or eat while you've been here?
Yes, they offered me some Legion coffee, and it was bad. But that's fine. Thank you.
That sounds about right. We would just like to ask you a couple of quick questions about, the circumstances surrounding your father's demise.
Absolutely, yes. What would you like to know? Anything. This is horrible.
Do you know anyone who bore your father ill will?
I'm going to write down yes.
My father was a complicated person, and many people disliked him, my mother being one of them. So, yeah, I can say that Dad had some enemies.
And where is your mother now?
She lives in the 5th District with her new husband.
Okay.
Not single.
That answered my question.
Is there anyone who you think stands to benefit from your father's death?
Definitely. Okay. How much do you know about Aftersausage, Mr. Avenir?
Consider me completely naive.
Okay. So Aftersausage was my dad's life. And he learned that recipe from his dad, and his dad learned that recipe from his dad, and his dad probably learned that recipe from someone he killed a long time ago. But that doesn't matter. The point is that it's now our family recipe. And my dad was really, really wanted to make sure that we continued making it because he was it was important to him, and he thought to his understanding of Ravnica. It's and I know we'd fallen on hard times, but my dad's really, God, if you had to describe him in one way, he would not be a quitter. He's extremely stubborn. And he told me he was never going to take their money, and he was never going to sell up, and he was going to sit in that warehouse until he died, and now he's dead.
Take whose money?
The Chamber of Commerce's. They want to buy his warehouse so they can finish their stupid swamp ball stadium and demolish a beautiful existing wonder of Ravnican natural heritage.
Is the space for the swamp ball stadium that they've already started working on not enough? They also need to expand into that too.
Yeah, the plans always included taking over the Aftersausage warehouse. The Aftersausage warehouse is just huge, because you have to think they used to make a ton of this stuff. Think of it as like two uptown Walmarts stacked one behind one another.
So they began construction plans on this without actually owning the land that they were going to be using?
Well, they assumed that he would sell it out because there's not much market for Aftersausage anymore. But my dad always told them no.
Who owns the warehouse now?
Well, we own the land lease.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you plan to do with it?
I'm going to keep it, obviously. I'm going to keep making Aftersausage. Our sales are going back up. Like, they're never going to be at the previous levels, but there is still a market for it, particularly with the younger generations. I've heard kids telling me they say they like the taste.
And when you say our, and that we own it.
Our family.
Okay. That is your sister?
Yes, my twin sister, Proclea,
okay.
and I. We are each 50% heirs to my dad's will.
Okay. And
how does your mother feel about that?
Oh, my mother divorced my dad 9 years ago, and she took a all-cash settlement and hasn't really wanted to deal with him since.
Is your sister of the same opinion does your sister share your opinion on selling the warehouse?
Or not selling?
Not selling the warehouse.
I think you better talk to my sister about that. Make me an insight check.
15.
15. He is trying not to throw his sister under the bus because he is a nice person.
Mm-hmm.
But he has some serious doubts, and he's pretty... You would sense an undercurrent of genuine concern that his sister might have had something to do with this. I think you better talk to my sister. I don't know. I can't speak for her. Sorry.
Okay.
I assume that she would always have our family's best interests at heart.
Last question, if nobody else has anything to ask here. What was your dad's experience with psychedelic drugs? Do you know if he was a partaker of such things?
No. My dad was... Well, he was my dad.
My dad.
All right.
Straight as a column. Question for you as well.
Okay.
Do you currently know the recipe for the drink?
For Aftersausage?
Yes.
I do.
Are you currently the only holder of that recipe?
That and a vault in the 10th district.
Mm-hmm.
So your
Where
sister?
is this vault?
My sister's never been interested in learning that side of the business.
In the 10th district.
She didn't want to be a brewer. She wanted to handle the paperwork.
Okay.
And I can't say I don't blame her. It's an interest. It can be a demanding and physical job.
Where is the vault? Within the 10th district?
In an Orzhov bank.
Okay. All right. Safe and sound?
I hope.
Good to know.
We're paying enough in insurance to keep it there.
Guarded by ghosts.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we have missed or forgotten about.
Where were they before the party?
Yeah, we should always
Yeah.
we should ask for an
Yeah.
alibi for both of them.
Yeah. Where were you before tonight's event?
Oh, it was a luncheon gala.
The luncheon gala.
Yeah, I was at my house over in the 4th precinct, we'll say.
Were you with anyone?
No. I was getting ready to go to a gala. Sorry.
All right.
You live alone?
Yes.
Nobody in your life?
I have some neighbors I'm friendly with.
Writes down single.
Single.
Did you stop anywhere on your way over?
Not really. I just got on the subway and came there.
None alibi.
What train do you take?
The Novagen line. If you want, you can get his detailed address and you can go
Sure.
there. All right.
I mean, we are extra legal. We may just want to toss the place.
Yeah.
All right. I will provide you his detailed address.
All right. Just in case. Shall we talk to the sister?
Yeah. Proclia.
Brian, thank you so much for all your help. And again, sorry for your loss. If you need any puppy hugs.
Thank you. And he pets Valencia.
Can we give him like some kind of contact information? If please reach out to us if you remember anything, if anything occurs to you. If you plan to leave the 6th district. Yeah, please. At least let people know.
I will let you know if I plan to leave the 6th district. I
Okay.
think that's pretty, it's a reasonable ask. If you need to get a hold of me for any reason, obviously I would love to assist you. Many people are probably delighted my father is dead, but I can honestly say I'm not one of them.
How was your relationship with your father?
I mean, he was a difficult man to get along with, but we cared about the same things.
Meat.
Making sure that you don't feel bad after you eat meat, and the nostalgic taste of Ravnican childhood. We have very unique culture here, especially at Ravnica, especially in the 6th district, and it would be a shame to throw away hundreds of years of traditional recipes and foods and flavors that we've all grown to love just because somebody had to pass a new law.
Yeah, damn whoever did that.
That can't believe they gave him a whole day for doing it. Good grief.
Yeah, that guy sucked.
When was the last time you spoke with your father?
A couple days ago, I was helping out with blending a new batch.
A fresh batch?
A fresh batch of Aftersausage.
How long does it take to whip up a batch?
Oh, well, I mean, it's in a constant state of fermentation, right? So it's like, and you obviously you're not moving the quantities we used to move through anymore. But you'd get some, it would brew and it would ferment and stuff like that. And then when it had been concentrated, I mean, I don't want to give too much away as to the recipe. And you've added your active ingredients, we'll say, is then you move it down to the bottling plant.
And your father worked alone?
Well, he didn't used to work alone, but some of the time he did. But when he had to do any like heavy lifting or stuff, I would obviously come in and help him because it's too much for an old man to do by himself at that point.
But otherwise, he never mentioned taking on any assistance or maintaining
No,
any of their
after
employees?
business completely cratered out, he let everybody go.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much, Brian.
All right. Prian's detailed address is 568 Spungle Lane Estates in the 4th Precinct.
All right. Let's go talk to the other one.
All right. This is Proclia.
Hello, Proclia.
Oh, hello, bread friend.
Yes, I'm all out of bread, unfortunately.
Oh, but you're here. Wait a minute. Are you here from the agency?
I sure am, and this is the rest of the crew.
Oh, you're the investigators.
We are indeed.
I think we may have gotten off slightly on the wrong foot.
Well, perhaps, but we're not here to make friends. We're here to get facts.
Absolutely, and I trust that you are an absolute professional because my dad has been murdered, and I'm like,
So sorry for your loss, by the way.
yeah,
So we was talking to your brother,
yes.
and he said that perhaps you're less interested than he is in keeping the family business.
Oh my God. I respect Brian, but what family business? He will talk endlessly about how sales are picking back up. But yeah, if you can consider a 78% reduction in sales better than an 81% reduction in sales, like, come on. Yes, I've heard teenagers drink it because they think it's some sort of like dare. But like, it's just not worth it. You know, all Dad did his whole life was obsess over Aftersausage because he wasn't given any choice in what he wanted to do when he grew up. He had to make the stupid gross stuff that stinks and makes your skin look awful and just ugh. And he's convinced that Brian has to do it, but I don't understand why we can't be like, well, we had a thing, it's come, it's gone, and now we just have to move on with our lives and just let other people move on too. It's not like there's anything worth saving in that neighborhood.
Yes.
I mean, how else does he think we're going to get any kind of money?
So you're saying currently right now it's not a profitable business?
No, it is not a profitable business whatsoever. And I can tell you because I'm the one doing the paperwork and the bills and the finances for that place. And I've been coming down twice a week to try and balance things ever since that stupid law got passed, and it's very depressing. There's more money going out than coming in, and we have a good offer from the Chamber of Commerce to buy out the land lease on that place. I don't understand why my dad has been so reluctant to do it. I have been trying to talk to him for a long time.
So you haven't spoken to your father in a while?
Oh, no, I've been speaking to him when I come down twice a week to help with the paperwork. And every time I say, Dad, you have another letter from the Chamber of Commerce. And every time he says, yeah, I'm not really interested. I'm going to wait till I can see a number I really like. And I've been trying to get him to say, I think the numbers are topping out, Dad.
Wait, so now hold on. So he was interested in selling. It's just that he was trying to see how high he could go.
He told me that he was going to rake those chamber bastards for every dollar he could get out of them because they had big money coming in from the 10th district.
Because your brother said he didn't want to sell. No way, no how.
I think Brian doesn't want to sell because he doesn't want to get a real job because he doesn't realize where his money is coming from, which is savings.
So there's nothing inherently special about the location with regards to the making of the Aftersausage.
Oh, well, Brian and Dad will tell you that there's a whole terroir that's important to it, but I don't believe that for a second.
Did your father mention anyone that he was working with, anyone who might have had access to the facility, anyone he would have let in?
The only people that came into that facility would be me and my dad, and then whatever, like, delivery drivers would be, like, dropping off ingredients or something like that, or picking up shipments.
And
Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry.
Are
No.
you familiar with the Alvin ear?
No, wait, no. Brian told me he had the what was it? What was they called? They were the Ravnican Traditional Food Society or something like that. He organized some tour for his weird food friends. The Culinary Anachronism Appreciation Society.
Society for Creative or Culinary Anachronism.
Ah, yes.
We like your thing because it's hilarious.
Okay.
Sorry, what was your other question?
Are you familiar with a Alvin ear?
No.
Never seen it in your payroll?
No.
There's a chance you might. So that means that this Alvin was not a customer or a business partner.
Could have been paid under the table.
Any idea what you'll do now?
I don't know. As soon as we can get the lease paperwork, I assume it'll just be. I assume a team of lawyers will argue back and forth.
And afterward?
I'd like to open a doggy daycare.
Really?
Yeah, I love dogs.
What would your rates be?
Oh, I don't know yet. I guess it depends on what kind of land I'd get and what kind of, like, profit I need to turn and what the clientele would be. And she starts talking about business. You can tell she's kind of a business
She's
person.
business-oriented.
She's the business-oriented one.
Nog is just kind of like,
She's going to start going off. She's going to tell you her dog daycare plans. You just have that face that people want to start blathering at, I think.
It's very helpful for a detective, let me tell you.
You know what? Let me tell you, she's got some branding stuff that she's been thinking about.
Oh, great. Well, you know what? I'll be sure to look it up. Doggy daycare.
Yeah.
Roll insight
Yeah.
just to see, like, does she feel honest?
Yeah, sure.
8.
Seems
Oh,
honest.
no, wait. Due to my ability ear for deceit,
Oh,
I
yes.
treat a roll of 7 or lower on a die 20 as an 8.
Oh,
So this is in fact an 8, which means I have a 13.
you have a 13. She seems fairly honest.
Okay.
She seems concerned that her brother might have had something to do with this.
I mean, that was also the vibe we got from Priam, right? Is that he was concerned that she might have had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you check their records, you'll see they're twins.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah,
Who's older?
she is by 6 minutes,
6 minutes.
which is kind of a long time when you think about it.
That's a
Yeah.
long time.
Depending on your point of view, yeah.
Do you get along with your brother?
I mean, we got along a lot better when we had a profitable family business and we were a lot wealthier, to be honest with you.
But that caused a bit of a rift between you two?
I mean, it was pretty depressing until we started getting all of these things in the net and invitations to sell because they needed the space for the luxury swamp ball stadium. And I thought, thank goodness, we'll finally be able to get out of this and Dad will be able to move on with his life and do something he wants to do for once.
What did your dad want to do?
I mean, supposedly he had all sorts of ambitions beyond making Aftersausage, but it turns out money talks. But I think you can make money and not have to handle things that smell like gunpowder.
And how is your mother doing lately?
Oh, she's great. She married her pickleball instructor, and they're on vacation in the Fondorlium right now.
Pickleball. I heard that's the fastest growing sport in Ravnica.
Yeah.
Super wet, too.
Yeah. They keep getting rid of areas that people like enjoy so they can build more pickleball stadiums.
If it wasn't for the brine,
Yeah.
I think it'd be fine.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Sorry, that dived into a very real place for me right now. I'm currently dealing with this in real life.
So you handle the business end of things.
Yes.
Were you speaking to anybody in particular directly regarding the sale of the factory?
No, because my dad, of course, is the owner of the factory.
Right, but you didn't get into contact with any of the people that maybe he was talking to as well? He was handling it all?
Just rolling a dice for effect, really.
Ooh.
But you can... she's going to look at you and she's going to say, obviously people have tried to speak to me. I mean, there's a reason that my brother and I and my father were invited to the luncheon gala about the Swamp Ball Stadium.
So you've since...
It wasn't a surprise to me that my dad didn't attend
Why is that?
because he preferred to maintain the upper hand in any business dealings. He didn't want to meet them on their terms. He wanted them to come to him, obviously.
And come to him they did.
Please don't joke about the death of my father.
It's not a joke. It actually happened.
Yeah,
I don't mean to alarm you, but your father is dead.
I'm pretty aware, thanks.
Yeah.
Where were you?
Before the luncheon.
Yes.
I was at home getting ready to attend the luncheon.
And do you live with anyone?
I live with my dog.
Oh. What kind of dog? Sorry, if we could talk about that later.
A mutt.
Oh, okay.
A rescue mutt.
Nice.
Does Valencia speak mutt? We may need to corroborate this.
Oh, yes.
Good.
Is there anyone who could corroborate your alibi?
We could talk to the dog.
I think I could talk to dogs.
Probably.
I could talk
You're
to
a druid.
Yeah, I can speak with animals.
All right.
Would your dog be able to corroborate that you
Could you
were
bring
at
your
home?
dog into the station?
Or just call them up. Whichever's easier.
I mean, yeah, I can go get my dog and bring it back.
We could go to your house.
All right. Let's go to her house. She lives also in the fourth precinct to be convenient.
Yeah.
She lives at this 72B Young Glove Street.
Okay.
How do you spell that?
YUGGLOV.
They really need to decolonize the names of the streets around here.
She lives there, and you meet a dog, which is dark colored and medium furry. Imagine dog.
Medium size? Or
Yeah,
like-
medium size, medium, not short hair, not long hair, not huge, not small. Dog.
Valencia and what's the name of this dog?
Snipper.
Valencia and Snipper just kind of like sniff each other's butts and stuff, and they seem to be conversing in the way that dogs do by playing with each other. All right, Slock, take it away.
Okay. I would like to use speak with animals.
All right. When I say and how does that work? When I say and tell me, what I'm asking for you is for you to just set the scene of how you get to really into Snipper's head and speak with them, while I briefly check the rules for speak with animals. So you set the scene.
So Slock kind of gets into almost like a yoga pose, really close to the ground, near the dog, kind of closes up almost as like I'm not threatening, and it's just like, hey, what's up?
Are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
You are speaking with Snipper. What do you want to ask Snipper?
Is this your owner?
Yes.
Okay. Was your owner here earlier today?
Yes.
Was anybody else here with your owner earlier today?
Yes. Me.
Anybody beyond that, in addition to you and your owner?
No. Wait. Bird outside. There was a bird.
Anybody in addition to you, your owner, and birds outside, and other animals you may have seen outside?
No.
What'd they say, Slock?
Dog's not known for reading a clock.
This dog's not very smart. Did your owner smell normal? Has your owner smelled normal today and the day before? Like in that general time
Yes.
frame?
Yeah.
Normal smelling owner.
She had a shower this morning, so she smells like soap now.
What? And Valencia's joined in. Oh god, I gotta think of a voice for this.
Valencia can be a lot smarter than Snipper.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And what kind of shampoo do they use?
Valencia goes.
It comes in a red bottle.
Does it look like one of those? Do the little pictures within look like those things that fall from the trees outside?
I don't know. Let's go look at it. And then Snipper just barrels through the house and like leads Valencia to the shower and then like knocks down all the soaps and shampoos and stuff like that.
Found the shampoo bottle. Valencia kind of brings out the shampoo bottle.
This might be a clue.
All right. The shampoo bottle has like flowers and like it says like for the modern Ravnican woman on it. Like it's one of them like girl boss kind of vibe.
How does she
thing.
feel about this all happening right now?
Why did your dog go get my shampoo?
I don't know what. I don't know what. Listen, she's a strong, independent dog, and also Slock's the one who could talk to her right
Look,
now.
I didn't want to. She seemed to really take charge, really wanted that shampoo, and I didn't want to step on her paws.
Meanwhile, Snipper, this is a fun game. What else do you want? What else do you want? What else can I get you?
Go fetch your owner's dad's murderer.
What?
Well, worth a shot.
Oh, don't worry. Your grandpa's dead.
Eh. He wasn't very nice.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, he told me that it would be unhygienic for me to be in there. So I had to wait outside every time my owner went and did all the bills and paperwork. Boring.
when's the last time you were there?
Yes, day before yesterday.
Did you see anybody else come into the factory beyond you, your owner, your owner's dad, any birds or other animals?
Rats.
Other than
So many
rats.
rats, and I wouldn't let me inside.
But you didn't see any suspicious individuals around the area.
There was a delivery.
What was the delivery?
Sacks.
What did the sacks smell like?
Bad.
Normal bad or like new bad?
So factory bad.
Okay, normal bad.
Well, I think we've exhausted whatever we can ask.
Does the dog know anything about anyone else who smells bad?
Do you know anybody that comes around that smells bad?
Brother smells bad. Smells like factory.
Brother smells like, but like that's normal bad?
Normal bad. Everyone else smells nice.
Anybody recently that you've interacted with that seems not normal bad?
I'm just trying to think. I hadn't really tried to think this much about what her dog that I literally just made up on the spot might have seen.
Dungeons and Dragons,
That's a
I think I
I'm gonna
finally
say-
understand this game.
I'm gonna say, yeah, you're trying to torture
Dance
me.
monkeys.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna say, some people come to see Mom, but they all smell normal.
Okay.
Well,
I think this dog's clean.
yes.
Oh yeah, I'm real clean. Starts licking her butt.
Nice.
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 Okay. Dog's a dead end.
All right. Well, I think we can probably wrap up this interview, Mrs. Buzzbaum.
Thank you.
If anything occurs to you, please contact us.
Absolutely.
And if you plan to leave the 6th District, please let us know.
Don't.
My lawyer has told me that I absolutely cannot leave the 6th district because of whatever is going to be happening with the lease.
Oh, you
Okay.
too.
Your situation might be different, you know.
Where are you doing your community service?
She's not going to justify that with a response.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Come on, Sniffer, let's go for a walk. Yay!
Let's see, here's walk, and she's like, and I'm like, no, not you. Well, I mean, kinda.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we got a couple places we could go.
Yeah, I think we need to interview the head of the Chamber of Commerce. And I want to know more about these earthquakes.
Yeah, we got the
Also,
earthquakes, and we got it. We
the-
should definitely go pay a visit to the coach at
Yeah.
the swamp ball place.
Yeah, what was her name? Plova?
Pova.
Pova.
Pova and Coach,
Coach Drivdat.
Drivdat,
Yeah.
which you can remember by thinking Drivdat ball into their skulls, which is how I came up with his name.
Nice.
So yeah, okay. How about we go interview them since they're kind of a direct follow-on from your
Sure.
Sounds good.
your autopsy. Do you want to do anything though? Do you want to go home? Do you want to change? Do you want to say it's the next day? Do you want to discuss anything? Your bosses are going to check in with you after you're done all of this, so you can save that for later.
What
if you'd
time is
like.
it?
I don't know. We'll say that the luncheon started at 1, and so they pinned his death to about 11 a.m. And we'll say that it's been several hours now, so it's probably getting up to close to 6 o'clock.
That's a rough time to die.
What?
11 a.m.
Why?
No, it's just
Just
kind of,
before lunch.
yeah, it's a little awkward. You don't get to have a nice lunch.
You're just hungry enough.
If I got up at 9 in the morning and knew I was going to die at 11, I feel like I wouldn't be able to do anything.
If I knew I was gonna die at 11, I wouldn't wake up at 9.
That's true.
I would.
If I got
I'd wake up at 10:59.
Yep. I think we should interview Pova sooner than later.
Yeah.
If she's a suspect.
Big time.
All right. Okay, so you do some back and forth, you head back, and after a short walk, you find yourselves on the Istria subway line heading up to Kapitsa Dirac University. The journey is going to all together, it's not honestly that far. It's going to take you about 15 minutes, but then you're directly at the university. You want to do anything on the subway or just go right there?
Are there any advertisements on the subway?
There are, in fact. There are, and they trigger this hidden box text.
Should I have not?
Yeah. That's Kathleen's trigger word.
Yeah, it's her treadstone activation phrase.
All right.
Is there box text here?
Yeah. There are advertisements on the subway for Kapitsa Dirac University because once again it has been voted Ravnica's third best research university 41 years running, at least according to the 6th District Times-Picayune's Readers Poll. And then with a little asterisk. Although Kapitsa Dirac's campus is relatively small considered to other Ravnican universities, it easily manages to punch above its weight academically due to its massive collection of affiliated research institutes, many of which were lured here by the twin sirens of relatively cheap real estate and a generous local interpretation of what counts as research. Until now, Kapitsa Dirac has not been known as a sports university. It's more of a deep thinking kind of university. But thanks to the Chamber's grant and the promise of a brand new swamp ball arena and a varsity league, you see posters advertising Kapitsa Dirac and this swamp ball team that they're going to have.
What was the name of the team again?
It's just the Kapitsa Dirac swamp ball team.
They don't have like their...
Well, I mean, I guess they don't have that decided yet.
Okay.
Pova used to play for the Mazgaz Smashers, which is the Mazgaz is an undercity neighborhood that you'd be familiar with. Mm-hmm. They're in a league with your swamp ball team, which I wrote down and can remind you of.
The
The Derek Butt.
The Derek Butt Drowners.
Drowners, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with them.
Yeah, I got it written down here somewhere.
So there's big posters, and they say Swamp Ball, the fun aquatic sport anyone can play. And then there's an asterisk, and then a percentage as like sort of form of second asterisk after that claim.
Right.
The picture on the poster is a smiling human, a smiling simic hybrid, and a sphinx that you think is likely trying to smile. And the sphinx has its claws grasped around a swamp ball, and all three are standing in front of a murky, opaque pool, and the human and the sphinx have magical air bubbles around their heads, and they're like, yeah! And then there's all this like huge chunk of fine print at the bottom. And the asterisk precedes a long list of injuries that swamp ball is likely to cause, including skin rash, contact chitinitis, drowning, death, and Grosler's elbow. And the percentage sign is followed by a claim that anyone who wishes to play with the 5-second rule is required to sign a second waiver.
Can't believe they added that still.
Yeah, it's very controversial. So yeah,
Is it a busy train?
Yeah, it's filled with students.
Oh, okay.
This is the train that takes you to the university, so you know, there's.
Is anybody like listening to music without headphones in?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Not a crime.
It's Enor.
Yeah.
Enor, I hate you. I can't mince words. I hate you.
What's the band they're listening to, Enor? Do you know them?
Oh God. Probably not.
Who
Wait. Let me think about that. Go ahead.
do we know who's listening to the music without headphones?
It's just-
Enor.
Oh, it is.
no, it's a
Enor.
student.
Oh.
Isn't it? I
Yeah,
thought.
it's not me.
Oh, I thought you said you were doing it.
No, there's just like some kid sitting there.
Just not an actual crime.
I've never said it was. I'm just saying it's you know,
There
you're
was-
a horrible living being.
I think they're listening to Guildpock.
Perfect.
Yeah.
PAC.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, very popular with the kids. Has a big rivalry with some other musicians.
The
Obviously,
notorious PIG.
Yeah.
Ilharg.
Right. Yeah.
Enor's just been getting really into
Yes,
Kamigawan jazz recently.
Oh.
You know, with the import shops popping up.
Yeah. All right. So anyhow, you get to the university, you look at these posters. There's all sorts of things that you can see. And so you can go check in or you can just go straight to where you want to go.
Well, we should probably let the schools know that we're on there. Or I guess it's a university. It's not like a high school. Where
No.
Checking in.
No, but you can
Hi,
let-
we're adults at this place. Yeah.
There's plenty of adults here. There's
Yeah.
people who have come back for like postgraduate degrees and stuff like that.
We'll just find the coach's office.
Yeah. We'll make our way to the sportsplex.
All right. After you look around, you make your way to the student gymnotorium and exerdrome. And a few students, you can see, are playing a casual pickup game of planesball in the field outside. The island ball
So
pool
much cleaner.
is idle, though, because it's way too cold to play outdoor island ball right now.
Oh.
It's early spring.
Oh.
But anyhow, there's no swamp ball arena here. I think a quick visual inspection shows, but this is indeed where Coach Drivdat is. So you go inside the gym, and you can, and the receptionist, like at the admissions desk, goes, "Oh yeah, that's the administration offices on the second floor. You can go up that way. You don't need to go into the actual gym part. He's in the office on the end there. Please go ahead." And his office used to be a storage room, but it has a nice plaque on the door. And it is a nice big storage room. And so the walls are now covered with charts that are outlining swamp ball plays and CPR best practices.
I'd knock on the door.
Knock, knock, knock. So did you say that you wanted to talk to Pova and him? We could just say that they're both there for you.
I mean, we definitely do
Yeah.
need to talk to both
Yeah,
of
it
them.
Great.
Seems like it
Okay,
would
they're
be
both there. Thank you. We've been expecting you. All right. What do you need?
You've been expecting us.
Well, you told us to wait here to be interviewed by you.
Oh, that we did.
What can I don't see how we're of much help to you, but I'm glad to let you anything we know. To let you
Well-
know anything we know.
Yeah, we just wanted to know, are you aware, most recently, of the death of one Horopian Spasbottom?
No?
No.
Is that name?
Insight.
I'll watch her while Nog is interviewing.
Sure.
Oh, that's a good roll. That would be a 21.
21. 21, you can tell that he knows who that is, but he had no idea he was dead. Pova has no clue what you're talking about. And Pova looks kind of ill.
Oh,
Kind of ill.
She's like, ugh.
oh, like sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Well, that happens to be the case, and we're interviewing you. We've come to ask you a few questions because some swamp ball grease was seen at the scene of the crime. Was found at the scene of the crime.
A lot of people play swamp ball in the 6th district. I don't know what you're implying, and he kind of looks at you as because you're from the Golgari Swarm as well. He's from the Golgari Swarm, and he goes, "I assume that you aren't just looking to say that it's some sort of Golgari business."
No, we found some swamp ball grease, professional level play, or at least everything above rec league. Was just wondering, where do you go about getting this kind of stuff if not through a program that you're running here?
Well, I mean, you get it through the program. You could get it from any sporting goods store. You could just buy a tin or something like that.
Too, there's a lot. Swamp ball's easily accessible.
I mean, it's a pretty accessible sport. You don't really need much else except for, some grease, an air bubble, a ball, and, a good insurance policy is what we always like to say, and a lust for blood.
Mr. Driftat, just for the record, can you tell us what swamp ball grease is for and how it's used?
Oh, well, it keeps you from, it's kind of funny because underwater, you want to be able to, really get in and throttle or scuzzle someone, right? So, the grease helps you stick to them. So it's kind of I guess
sticky.
It's the sticky grease like you might put on a ball you're really trying to throw or something like that. It gives the players traction. It's very important. But that said, a lot of players carry their own grease. People have brands they prefer, stuff that, some people don't like the smell, so they get scented grease. And Pova goes, "Yeah, I use apple scented grease."
Yes.
What brand is that?
We'll say it's Beetle's Finest.
Yeah, where do you get that?
I get it from the sports store.
Okay. Is it What properties does it have that you like?
I like the smell.
Does it come in any other scents?
I mean, it comes in unscented.
Okay.
So you're saying that apple is kind of one of the main flagship scents of this product.
Yeah, it's just, I like it. Not everybody uses apple scented stuff, but it's not uncommon, I would say. Why do you ask?
Seems like
It's so funny, yeah. As me and Eno, we were laughing over this a little bit. The grease scene at the scene of the crime was apple scented.
yeah.
Oh,
Seems like a really interesting way to actually meet other people too. Easy conversation starter using the same scented apple grease.
I guess. I'd probably already know them if they played Swamp Ball, though.
So, anybody else a big fan of this apple scented grease? Since you enjoy it so much.
A few other people on the team don't mind using it.
You share it? Seems like a personal item.
I mean, I would lend it out to someone, I'm sure.
Could you? Do you have it on you right now?
Oh, yeah. I guess I don't.
Well, I mean, I'm something of a magician. And if you think really hard about it, perhaps it'll appear in this room.
Okay.
Nog kind of reaches in and pulls out the tin.
Oh, that does look like my grease. Although, that tin's kind of banged up and dirty.
No, I'm clearing my throat.
I was waiting for you to drop a bomb.
No.
Where were you before the luncheon today?
Well, I was at swap ball practice this morning, and then because I had a couple hours to kill before luncheon, I decided I would walk down to the reception to work off some of the lactic acid from the morning practice.
Can anyone corroborate your whereabouts during that time? Did you see anyone, spend time with anyone?
No, I was listening to music, but I did say bye to my roommate.
Who's your roommate?
She tells you her roommate's name.
Okay. Are you feeling unwell?
I am. Oh, you are a detective, not feeling great. I ate something funny at the reception. Ooh.
What did you have?
I had some of those, and then Coach says, "You had several dozen of those weird canapes that were handing out at." Oh God, the catering at that. Did you eat any of the food at that stupid reception?
Oh,
I had a breadstick or two.
You're smart not to have any of that fancy stuff that was going around. The stuff on the buffet table was fine, but all those dumb canapes, do you know who made them? It was the Society for Culinary Anachronism. Those bog-loving lunatics.
What were they?
I
didn't
know.
get a good look at them.
I don't eat that I don't eat that rich person food. Just fancy weird beast stuff. You see, I told you shouldn't have eaten it. I was hungry. I couldn't help it. I did a swamp ball practice and I walked for an hour and a half to get to this gala because there was going to be food there. Ugh.
Does that sound about right to me?
Yes.
Okay. Coach Driftat, where were you before the event?
Here in my office doing paperwork, obviously.
How did you get to the event?
I took the subway.
Okay.
Is this your tin of grease?
It certainly looks like it.
And you have no idea how it could have made it to the scene of the crime. You didn't lend it out recently to anybody?
Maybe.
would you have used it at the practice this morning?
She's thinking really hard because her stomach's rumbling. And she's like, I'm not sure if I had it this morning. I think I might have just used the normal grease. Maybe I borrowed some from a friend.
Does she smell like apples right now?
She does.
I mean, it's the same day.
Yeah.
So you used someone else's apple grease this morning, not your own, that is mysteriously at the scene of the crime?
I don't remember.
I feel bad that we're grilling the cutest animated character. Not this guy, that one.
The dog?
Am I in trouble? I didn't do anything wrong. She's looking at you, Slock. She's like, I didn't do anything wrong.
We're just trying to, figure out some of this information, just asking some questions, making sure that, everybody's safe and all that.
And you're sure you didn't lend it out to anybody?
I mean, maybe. Yes, I probably did.
Who?
Somebody else on the swamp ball team.
Who? Give us names.
And then the coach says, like, all right. Look, do you have anything you're actually accusing her of here, agency boy?
We're just trying to find out who used whose grease, where the grease came from.
We have a very real piece of evidence at the scene of the crime linking to one of your players.
I guarantee you that Pova's as clean as a Plains ball field. She is not involved in anything. She's a good kid. And I'm sick of the Golgari always being blamed for being at the bottom of something.
Whoa. All right, now hold on just a moment here. This has nothing to do with guild relations or whatsoever. What we're saying is this was found at the scene of the crime. It is very clearly belonging to young Pova here. And we're not accusing her, but we need to know if she lent it to somebody.
She definitely lent it to someone.
So
She
if,
said she's lent it to someone.
I guess, yeah.
Oh,
20
wait.
on an insight roll.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he believes that she lent it to someone because she said that she lent it to someone.
Right.
He's sticking up for her because she's
How
not very
big
old.
was Horobian?
Medium human size.
I'm assuming a professional swamp ball player is a pretty good grappler.
She could fold any of you in half, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Sick. I mean, good. I mean, I'm going to write that down.
A man was murdered today. There is a piece of evidence linking Pova to that murder.
You're going to have to start remembering.
How many people on a swamp ball team?
15.
Jesus.
Bring him in. Bring him in and sniff him.
All right. We'll say you can get 12 of the 15 members because not all of them would be around campus. Some of them are like off for the evening. And you're going to say several smell like apple-scented swamp ball grease. But not all of them smell like apple-scented swamp ball grease.
That narrows it down.
Yeah.
All right, so you can have a list of 7 names on the swamp ball team,
Okay.
in addition to Pova, that would smell vaguely apple-scented.
Okay.
I will give you all of their detailed names
Okay.
at a later moment, but we'll say you
Sure.
have 7 kids.
All right.
Yeah, we can-
I'm gonna write down probably didn't do it.
Yeah, we can montage that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, so you montage that goes, and I think at a certain point, he's gonna say, "All right, you've asked some questions. My star throttler looks like she's gonna go throw up any second. Are we done here?"
For now.
Yeah. Any away games coming up?
No.
Any plans to travel?
No, we have a big game coming up in a few days. And then she looks at you and she's like, "Yeah, I told you about that one."
Yep, you did. Now I want to be abundantly clear, Pova. We're not angry at you. We're just trying to make sure that a man, a family man, a father, an entrepreneur gets his justice. And we're just doing our due diligence.
Okay.
All right, that's it for me.
we're just all trying to figure out who did this.
Who done it?
Do we know
Done it.
of anyone who... Do we meet anybody at that party that would have a better understanding of the earthquakes?
Yes.
Yeah, the engineers. Oh, sorry, one last thing while we're in the office.
Yeah, sure.
Is there anything like I have the ability to just kind of like passively eye for detail. Anything linking him to the Chamber of Commerce?
He's got a letter on his desk from the Chamber of Commerce inviting him to this.
I mean, like clearly he would have to have something.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but like I don't know. Is there anything unusual that strikes my or attracts my attention?
Make You have an eye for detail, but I'm gonna get you to roll for it.
Okay. Perception to spot hidden creature or object, or investigation to uncover or decipher clues is a bonus action.
Perfect.
So investigation. 24.
He has an appointment in his date book for the previous week to meet with the Chamber of Commerce and your boss, Slog.
I asked him about it. Like, what did you discuss at this meeting?
Swamp ball.
You're going to have to do better than that.
He pulls out a binder that talks all about the league they're building and the intramural league and the other universities they're going to fight, and how there's another university from another district that's going to come and play in a week.
That's quite interesting, considering the.
This is the big game I keep talking about.
Yeah, the arena isn't finished. I assume where's the game taking place?
We're playing at a local arena, obviously, in the Undercity.
Okay. Looking forward to having the arena completed?
Absolutely.
How is it going to be completed?
Well, they're going to dig it out. They're going to suck up all the water, and then they're going to put all the water back in the big thing that they build.
But they don't have space for it. They got to take over the factory.
Yeah, then get that stupid factory out of there. The person's a crank anyhow.
Dead crank.
Was a crank, sir. Was.
That's the guy who got killed?
That is indeed the gentleman who was killed. That's why we're here.
Oh. Well, I can see why you're so insistent then. That is awfully convenient.
Isn't it just, Coach?
Detecting thoughts the minute he says that, just to see what the surface level of his thoughts are.
Genuine surprise.
Okay.
Because he didn't really know who Herobian Spazbossum was. He was familiar with the name before as people who live, rich people from the top side who live in the Overcity who, like, are dealing with whatever's going on. Like, it'd been brought up.
Okay.
I've got a minute on that spell. I'm going to toss that over to the young one
To
as well,
Pova.
just to see what's on the surface level there as well.
Her stomach is killing her. She's feeling bad. She's feeling genuinely concerned that she has no idea what happened to her swamp ball grease, and she doesn't remember.
And nothing hidden. Okay.
Nothing stood out from the practice or anything.
No, it was
Okay.
a normal practice according to them.
Man, I thought this was a good lead.
Well, I mean, it's certainly some evidence that she's identified it as her swamp, as likely her grease, although her grease wasn't battered and dirty. You could also try to get a fingerprint from her.
Yeah. We got the the partial print.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we can fingerprint her. Also, who has access to your locker rooms? I assume where do you store your equipment when it's not in use?
We have a hut over at the Dirk Butt Swamp Ball Stadium.
Is it a locked or a secure facility?
Yep,
Who has access to it?
me.
Okay.
Well, let's get that fingerprint, and Jeffrey, come take her fingerprint.
Jeffrey comes and takes the fingerprint. She's fine to give them. You can get fingerprints from other people on the Swamp Ball team if you'd like to.
Sure. Yeah, we'll get the full meal deal. Good job, Jeff.
He flies off. All right, well, I would rate that as I would say, medium stressful conversation you just had. I don't know how much the coach loved you.
See, I don't think we're going to be getting like free front row tickets.
No, but hopefully it was educational. You guys all take a break and then wake up bright and early the next morning, right? How are you feeling?
Good.
Good.
I slept on the floor. Valencia was on the bed.
Oh, did she kick you off?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't have a big bed, so I roll off.
And
Yeah.
she's a big dog.
Yeah.
As long as she's comfortable, right? But are you feeling perked up and ready to go?
Of course.
Good, because you immediately start getting a phone call.
Oh God, I'm not dressed yet. Can she see me if I do through these calls?
We'll say yes.
Okay, I quickly grab a bathrobe.
All right, in your bathrobe.
Reboot.
Hi, Nog.
Hey.
Hey. So, you've been doing a real bang-up job, But we got some stuff going on here, and I thought I'd like to get a report from you to see what's going on, and then I got a little bit more information from you. What do you make out of everything?
Somebody died.
Yeah, and it's a real bummer because a lot of people are really pissed off, and a lot of other people are real excited.
Yeah. No, it seems overall like the death of a victim, Harobian Spasbottom, really seems to only stand to benefit a lot of people. It seems like he was getting in the way of this new swamp ball stadium that was being put up.
Oh yeah. What did you think? Did you get any vibes off either of the kids?
Well, yes. To be honest, big vibes. The son very clearly wants this business to go on forever. I don't know. He seemed really into his dad. Seemed like a real teacher's pet. If your dad was a teacher and you were homeschooled. But the daughter, on the other hand, she seems like she stands to benefit from this whole thing being torn down.
Interesting. So you think the son's innocent and the daughter did it?
I don't think the daughter did it. I'm not saying that, because we also ran into another piece of evidence, the swamp ball grease, and we went and interviewed the swamp ball players.
Oh yeah. What did that turn out to be?
Well, it seems almost assuredly like the swamp ball grease belongs to a Miss Pova.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Well, I have another further wrinkle for you. As you mentioned, both those son and daughter do stand to benefit. The daughter through the direct sale of the land lease, and the son by holding on to it. And would you believe, when all the lawyers went to go get the lease, we've got the deed, we've got the will, but we don't have the physical document needed to complete the sale. And if we don't get that, the whole thing's stuck in limbo. It should be in an Orzhov vault, but they're not returning our calls, which seems very convenient.
Huh. So you've got everything you need except for the bill of sale, and that's just gone?
Well, it's the lease agreement, but yeah. I'm going to give you a little bit of insight that there's I have decided headcanon-wise that the concept of land ownership is a bit weird in Ravnica because the civilization's been going on so long. So you can't own land, but you can own the rights to it via long-term lease that can be transferred, but you actually need the document.
So you never get to own anything?
Well, you can own something for several hundred years, and you could always negotiate to renew it, but you have to buy it from the government at fair rates. It's to prevent speculation.
Okay.
And also that means that if, somebody wants to go and say, hey, your beautiful third floor apartment is now my beautiful fourth sub-basement because we're building a new street over it. It's a little bit easier to get people out of their homes.
Right.
So you're saying that this lease went missing from the vault?
We don't know yet. The Orzhov won't return our call at all.
All right.
So you need to pull that record because nothing can proceed without it, and it's mighty weird.
So you're saying we should head on down to the Orzhov area?
Absolutely. That should be your next stop.
Okay. Anything else?
Not that I know of, it seems like there's a lot of people that would stand to benefit from all of this.
Yeah. Did little Jeffy get you those fingerprints, by the way?
He did. We've ran them back to the 6th district.
Anything?
We'll let you know.
Oh, okay. Man, we got the slowy Joey systems.
It's called Narrative Excitement.
That's the brand name.
Yeah.
Okay, of the machines we use. Great.
Yeah,
okay.
we're at the subcontract from the 7th district. Narrative Excitement. I don't think we'll buy those drones again.
Yeah, they seem a little slow. Great. I think that's about everything. Now, I mean, yeah, you already know all the info that came from there. Yeah, I think that seems. We talked to a dog. It was pretty cool.
Oh, I love dogs.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Do you have dogs?
I have a dog.
Really?
His name is Midge.
Man, we should. We've never met. We should get together sometime and have a doggy date.
Yeah. How often do you come out to the 10th district?
I haven't had the opportunity, really.
Oh. Well, there's lots of nice things to do there. Bye.
No. Someday I'm gonna meet her.
All right. So it sounds like you have a lot of instructions.
We need to figure out what happened to this lease.
All right. But while that's going on, Avenir also is having a talk with his boss, which I think is a little bit more involved. Avenir, do you want to tell me about your office?
It is in the basement of the 6th District in the former office of the Consumer Protections Branch. It is... Look, everything is where it should be, basically. It's there's piles of stuff. He's working on getting this thing completed. But, it's actually reasonably well organized. And it's dark. It has no windows. The nobody comes in to clean it except for him, and he cleans it every 2 weeks or so. It's kind of like down a long hallway behind a set of filing cabinets through a secret door. You have to go through the bathroom, and then you climb up through the ceiling tiles and down on the other side. Otherwise, it's very nice.
I see. All right. Well, there is something that's not supposed to be there when you get there. It is your boss who's waiting to talk to you as you come in. She is... Does she come to see you often? I don't think so.
No.
Has she ever been in your office before?
No. I didn't know anyone else could get in here.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. All right. Well, she's sitting behind the table, and she's, a very kind of mature, staid-looking lady. And she goes, "Good morning, Avenir. How are you?"
Good morning, Deputy Minister. I'm doing very well. How are you?
Oh, well, things are very complicated. Avenir, how familiar are you with matters of murder?
Having participated in one, somewhat.
Yes.
Quite. Rather.
So she says, "Avenir, you are trained for tactful work, we'll say. And despite the fact that you did something that many people found unpopular, I have never seen a reason to punish you for this outside of, the general censures that you got for the dispatchment of your former boss."
It's impossible to say whether it was good or bad.
Like all things, it's very complicated, isn't it? There is no pure right and pure wrong in the eyes of the law. I think the eyes of the law need to be neutral and impose the law as the law was meant to be seen and written. Do you not agree?
Avenir repeats an aphorism from, Azor.
Very diplomatic. But the point being here that there is something very interesting afoot, and it is the kind of interesting that is inconvenient. Because right now we have someone who has died, and unlike when somebody has died suddenly, a few people are upset, but most people are pretty excited about it. I have a long list of people who seem to be very excited about it, most of whom were conveniently gathered in the same place at the time the body was found, which I think is extremely inconvenient for terms of investigation and extremely convenient for terms of alibi seeking. Don't you agree?
It does seem a bit suspicious.
Yes, I thought the same thing. The fact that a man that's been so vexatious and troublesome should just happen to turn up dead in a very unusual and elaborate manner only muddies the water. I also think that certain clues may have been left out for reasons unknown. I think that we can't be too careful about anything. I also would caution you that you can't be too careful about the agency. How much do you know about the agency?
Very little.
So say we all. They're a new thing, just popped up in the 10th district, and frankly, I find that a private organization that has sprung up in times of weakness to usurp the powers of investigation from guilds could be, well, it could certainly usurp the power of the guilds and further destabilize Ravnica at a time where our stability is anything but assured.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Yes. Do you trust your friend Nog?
Yes.
If you trust him, then I trust him. But I do not trust the organization he works for. I would like you to keep an eye on whatever is going on. Obviously, if they stay within the boundaries of the authority, fine. I have no problem with it. I would just like to be aware of whatever they are doing. But I do not think that something that springs up to fill a power vacuum can have entirely altruistic motives. Do you?
I can't speculate on it.
Excellent reasoning.
Quite.
I would also caution you to be aware that the Chamber of Commerce is very interesting to me. And at this, I would like you to investigate outside the purview of the agency.
It is an extremely powerful, ungilded or guildless organization.
It is. They control the purse strings of the 6th District, and a lot of the things that happen here happen because of the Chamber of Commerce. And I also found Bruna's speech to be very interesting. Do you remember much of Bruna's speech, Avenir? Or were you too bowled away by all of the hidden insults he'd stuffed in there for you?
Oh, do I remember it? Actually, no, I'm going to let her monologue.
All right. I thought it was very interesting that he lamented that there is a lack of an omen path here in the 6th District, and we have very good reason to believe that there is an omen path here in the 6th District, and it has been active for some time. And I believe that if anybody is going to complain so publicly about something, that they are perhaps wishing to give the appearance that they do not know about something so they can continue monopolizing it for themselves. I think Bruna is up to something, and I do not trust him, and he had many motives that could cause him to maybe want a problem to disappear. And even if he doesn't want a problem to disappear, I want you to find out what he knows about omen paths and what he knows about this. And she pulls up that piece of paper that you found in the garbage, which is a page from the Hitchhiker's or the Omen Hiker's Guide to the Multiverse. And she goes, "That we found this to be extremely interesting, having found it in that warehouse.
I agree.
And I think that you will agree that unlicensed omen paths, where travelers are not screened for dangerous extraplanar goods or organisms or ideas, are also dangerous."
Considering the last large interplanar visit Ravnica experienced, yes, that does seem reasonable. What evidence do you have that there's an active omen path in the 6th District?
We've seen reports of people that seem to have access to things like new comic books in
We found this! It's backwards!
yes, he mentioned it, Kamigawa manga.
Yeah.
We've also, and we have a network of spies. It's also the Omen Hiker's Guide itself is very interesting. We of course had it analyzed. And do you know where that was printed, Avenir?
No.
Right here in the 6th District.
The devil, you say? That's a very large thought.
It is, isn't it? It is rather overwhelming, but I'm hoping somebody who's trained in the act of following the letter of the law, even when it will get him in trouble, will know how to handle such.
May I see that page?
Absolutely.
I pull it out. I don't read it. I feel it. Is it newsprint?
No, it's kind of thin paper.
Is it like anything else we've seen published in the 6th District?
Not something that maybe you have seen, but
Okay.
it's definitely, they'll say they know it's 6th District paper because it matches like the pH of paper made here. Like
Okay.
this thing has been through the forensic ringer.
Right.
The current attitude of the Azorius is that extraplanar travel should be controlled, regulated, and managed. Not prohibited, but as we have seen, visitors have thus far been fairly catastrophic, I think is the word that can be bandied about without too much hyperbole. Avenir,
Yes, ma'am.
make sure that the agency aren't trying to undermine Ravnican civilization, which I don't think they are, but make sure they don't do anything they're not supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be assisting as a neutral third party and hold them to that. Make sure the Golgari don't get too upset, because they have a clear motivation for what's going on here. And I am not saying that they are guilty, but I'm even fine if they get their way. But they should not be permitted to use force to ensure that they get the outcome they're looking for.
Absolutely.
But mostly, find the guide, find out who's printing it, find out who's writing it, and let me know immediately. I trust you will be successful in this endeavor, Avenir.
I do not want to give you any reason to doubt my abilities.
I don't doubt your abilities.
Thank you for your trust.
I do trust you, Avenir. I know many people in this organization don't, but you've still not given them a reason to... You've never given me a reason to distrust you. You are honest to a fault, if I had to say.
Thank you, ma'am. Are you feeling well?
Feeling fine.
I'm glad to hear that.
I didn't eat any of the weird food at that reception.
Good. It's knocked half of Swamp Ball team on their ass.
Interesting.
We're onto their... onto the throne.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Interesting. I can't think of any questions. I've just been given, like, marching orders. That's fine.
That's fine. While all this is happening, Slock, guess whose boss also wants to talk to him first thing in the morning?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Excited.
How are you feeling?
I don't feel sick, but definitely the feeling of, like, you know when you eat too much of heavy thing?
Did you eat the canapes that were going around?
No, just a lot of extruded egg.
Nobody else ate the canapes, did they? No.
No.
Straight to the champagne.
We had a lot of breadsticks.
I ate a lot of breadsticks, and I ate the shrimp that you extruded through your palms as a hot dog.
I was too busy getting day drunk.
Yeah, but you still you're fine today, right?
Yeah.
No
I got my
hangovers.
hangover done at like 8 p.m. last night.
Oh, perfect. How did you didn't drink that much? You're feeling good. You're perked up. You ready to go?
Yeah, not a morning guy, but you know.
But I mean, your boss expects you to be at the office quite early.
Yes.
She expects you in there at what, like 9 a.m. It's inhumane.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Tizzy is a real hard ass though. Anyhow, so as soon as you show up for work, she's going to be like, Slock, my office now. And she sits you down in her office and she goes, Slock, I need you to carry these for me while I go out into a playground. And she sort of snaps her fingers and you follow her and you go down into the Undercity. And you do some sort of like community outreach stuff as she's the vice president of the Chamber of Commerce and they're talking about a playground and there's some garden boxes they've put in. And they do all that and you carry her stuff for her and, you help set up the presentation and everything. You sort of, haul stuff to the subway and back.
Yeah.
But after all that is done, she sits you and she goes, Slock, I fancy some lunch, don't you?
I've been known to eat.
Excellent. And she takes you to a Golgari cafe in the area and you go into the back room. Once you are sitting in the back room, she goes, Slock, how are things going? You are my eyes and ears on whatever the agency thinks that they are up to.
Well, it's going well. Yeah, it's going well. A man has died.
Yes. That possibly was the last good thing to happen. Don't you agree?
I kind of nervously just chuckle my way without giving an answer, I guess. Like, yeah.
Yes. And you talked to some people yesterday, didn't you? You talked to Coach Drivdat and Pova.
We did.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did that go? Did you feel good about that conversation?
It felt somewhat productive, not, as much as we were hoping for, I think, but...
Yes, I did see that after she's got a different voice than last time because I was blowing out my throat doing the full Yuzma voice. Mm-hmm. So, but I got to give her a bit of Yuzma here. It's like, Slock, did you see that after your lovely interview that the only identified suspects were members of the Golgari swarm?
Yes, that's true.
Yes, and I do realize that the evidence does point to that, but this would not be the first time some agency, especially in the 10th district, has come over here and said, well, it's probably the Golgari's fault, isn't it?
Right.
And, I would like you to remember the reason that I am working with the Chamber of Commerce and you are working for me. But first, a question for you. Have you ever been to the 10th district?
Never been. Never been.
My sweet summer child, you've lived here in the 6th your whole life.
Yes.
And you've had a good life, a pleasant life.
It's been a pretty laid-back existence, yeah.
And you're happy with your work of moving slime and growing mushrooms.
I miss it a little bit. I like what I do.
Okay. Slock, I failed you. Because I've made your life too good. Because I have been to the 10th district, and I know what it's like to be a Golgari there. And I know what it's like to have people look down on you because you are poor and because you are at the bottom of a large economic chain. And they don't do that so much here because we have been very firm about not letting them do that to us, although they have tried. How much money do you think the Golgari make? Making sure that all of the hungry people on Ravnica are fed, and every corpse is disposed of, even if the people had no money, and given a proper burial where they are honored and returned to the ecosystem. How much money do you think that makes us?
Oh, not nearly enough, ma'am.
No, it makes us no money. In fact, we are the backbone of Ravnica, if you don't mind me saying so. We keep this plane running, and for our good service, they look down upon us. And never forget that when you leave the 6th district, they will look down on you for being poor and for being Golgari and for being worse. What they call us in the 10th district, they call us traitors. Because people I don't know, and I am not related to, did bad things. And I'm not here to judge them, but I am here to make sure that they don't judge us for something that we have not done and we are innocent of. And so I will say, Slock, that your role in this investigation is good. And providing clarity to this murder is good. And of course, resolving our issues is good. And appearing to be helpful is good. But remember, our job is to get the stadium built and to tell people to stop discriminating against us because we just happen to be poor and deal with death and rot and mushrooms, which I think is generally unfair, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I do not trust the agency. I do not trust the Azorius. And I do not trust the Chamber of Commerce. Remember, we are working with them because we are profitable to them. But they would sell us up the river. They would cut ties with us immediately if it was no longer profitable. So our good working relationship depends on a harmonious stadium and profit. And what do you need to play in a stadium, Slock?
Fans?
Oh, I mean, that's nice, but I think that there's something very direct that you really definitely need to play a game of swamp ball.
A swamp ball.
Absolutely. And who handles the swamp ball?
Well, I used to handle the swamp ball.
You were good at it, weren't you? Yes. You were very good at handling that swamp ball. How many people did you knock unconscious that season that you went all the way to the top of the league?
I used to keep track of that until I got hit in the head, and then I couldn't remember if it was 690 or 960 overall.
Incredible numbers, even at 15 aside.
It's pretty good at what I did.
There's a lot of games in a season.
It's just, each game is just Slock methodically walking up to each player.
Spends a lot of time in the sin bin.
Yeah. Because your signature move was the go to sleep now.
Just like that Monty Python sketch with the 3 blind mice.
I had
trying to drag him off, and he's like, one more.
I had a 1-2 kind of combo. The honk shoe into the me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Love that for you, Slock. And honestly, Slock, you are good at your job because you are good at following directions.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So I have a little direction for you, Slock.
Okay.
The next time you meet up with your friends to do whatever investigation you need to do and make sure the stadium gets built, can you please make it so the entire Swamp Ball team and coach doesn't get the aura of suspicion cast on them? Because the one thing you absolutely need to play Swamp Ball is a Swamp Ball team with a Swamp Ball star player. Do you know how embarrassing it's going to be if Pova is not there for the game? And then, as if on cue, another member of the Golgari swarm comes in and goes and whispers to her and goes, "Ah! Slock! I have a new job for you.
Ma'am?
Half the Swamp Ball team has been arrested by the Azorius, including our star player. Find out who killed that man and get them free.
Yes, ma'am.
If they killed that man, get them free.
Yes, ma'am.
Dismissed."
Yes, man.
Yes, ma'am. I don't like it when she yells at me.
She's very small but loud. She's so loud.
Her shrill voice gives her a power you can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's like in Dune, only she just yells at you until you choke yourself.
Yeah. All right. Back in Nog's thing. Hey, Nog, we got those prints back.
Oh.
Yeah, we got one for the victim and a partial match for a member of the Swamp Ball team.
Oh, really? Whom?
Pova, the star player. Wild, eh? All right, bye.
She did it, girl.
I mean, that seems a little harsh, right?
We'll have to find out next week on Bylaw and Order.
No!